So I just came up with this talk during lunch, so just a few slides. But wanted to share some experience around Alertmanager and silences. So I'm Théo Brigitte. I work as a platform engineer, whatever this means. I'm also French, sorry for my English. And I work at Giants Forum. I'm part of the observability team there. So let's see how we provision silences into our Alertmanager. So quickly, what we do at Giants Forum, we provide a fully managed Kubernetes. And the thing is that we run a monitoring stack isolated into each our cluster with HA Alertmanager. And the problem there is that our engineers are on call 27, right? They're responsible for the infrastructure. And we, as the observability team, we're also monitoring the monitoring stack because, yeah, you need that. And the problems come on when, like, you need to, because we use the same set of alert in all our clusters, whenever things go wrong because you deploy the wrong version or God knows what can happen, you need to silence this alert across all the clusters. That's just not feasible manually. And we also had problem because user would just create a silence in the Alertmanager UI and just not give any info about what was the related incident, or they would just set the expiry date to year 4000 because they just wanted to silence the thing, right? So how do we solve this problem? So then we decided to store our silences in Git because, as Hervé mentioned before, we are heavily GitOps based. So we store our Prometheus rule in Git, and we also decided to store our silences in Git. But the problem came up as there is no way to define a silence. Like, how does a silence look like? And because we're part of the Kubernetes ecosystem, we decided to write this silence operator and define what a silence is in terms of a custom resource definition, which is basically a YAML file, right? And thanks to that, we can have all kind of CI validation on top of that. Like, we can validate the expiry date. We can make sure people add some relevant information about what the silence is about, who created it, and so on. So this is fairly simple operator. Like, if you're familiar with the Kubernetes ecosystem, it's like use a set of Kubernetes label to select which CR you want to reconcile and which namespace you're taking them from. And then the operator just use the Alertmanager Go client and sync those silences with Alertmanager. Also does the expiration logic. It's not there in the spec, but we use it as an annotation for now. Maybe we move it into the spec in a later iteration. But yeah, basically your silence, whenever it's synced to the cluster, it gets synced to Alertmanager, and when the expiry date is over, then it's removed from Alertmanager. And you have the set of matcher, exactly what you have in the Alertmanager API. Yeah, and on top of that, we also used to run Prometheus. Now we moved to Mimir for scalability reasons. And this operator also does support tenancy from Mimir. So yeah, it's out there. Feel free to use it and give us feedback if you do.